The Honorable President of India. May I please request everyone to stand up for the national anthem. May I now request the representatives of ADRI to present the bouquets to our guests. We request Neeraj Kumar to present the bouquet to the Honorable President of India. May I now request the representatives Suryakant Kumar to present the bouquet to Honorable Governor of Bihar. Manish Kumar to present the bouquet to the Honorable Chief Minister of Bihar. Aisha Fatma to present the bouquet to the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister of Bihar. Bakshi Amit Kumar Sinha to present the bouquet to the Honorable Minister, Department of Education, Bihar. Rajesh Kumar Singh to present the bouquet to former member Rajya Sabha N.K. Singh. Barna Ganguly to present the bouquet to Lord Meghnad Desai, Chairman Academic Advisory Committee, ADRI, Silver Jubilee. May I now request Sunita Lal, Member Academic Advisory Committee, ADRI, Silver Jubilee, to present the Angavastram and mementos to our guests. Honorable President of India, Honorable Governor of Bihar, may I now request Shri N.K. Singh to take over the proceedings.
Thank you. At the outset, can I request Dr. Shaibal Gupta to kindly deliver his welcome speech.
Honorable Sri Pranab Mukherjee, the President of India, Sri N.K. Singh ji, the Chairman of the Inaugural Session, Honorable Sri Nath, Kovind ji, the Governor of Bihar, Honorable Singh, Nitish Kumar ji, the Chief Minister of Bihar, Honorable Singh, Tejashwai Yadav ji, the Deputy Chief Minister of Bihar, Honorable Dr. Ashok Choudhary ji, the Education Minister of Bihar, Lord Meghnad Desai ji, the Chairman of Academic Advisory Committee of the conference, my colleague Dr. Prabhat, P. Ghosh, Director of ADRI, many dignitaries, academic and intelligentsia of Patna, our honored national and international delegates, friends from media, ladies and gentlemen. I feel extremely delighted to welcome you all on behalf of ADRI and my own behalf to the third international conference as part of ADRI Silver Jubilee celebration in 2016 and 17. The Asian Development Research Institute, as you might know, is now one of the leading social science research institutions in India. This conference on Bihar and Jharkhand, Shared History to Shared Vision, is the third of one of the three Silver Jubilee conferences. Earlier two conferences on development and growth, experience and theories, and on social statistics in India. Even after separation from Bihar and Jharkhand, it was not two geographical expressions, but they always had a shared history and most of the time shared vision. In this conference, scholars will be deliberating on shared histories of twin states, muse on their present and speculate about their future based on recent experiences. Apart from that, we are also deliberating on the social and cultural construct of the Hindi heartland. Even though united, Bihar was part of the Bengal presidency politically, its cultural ideological sustenance was from Hindi heartland. I sincerely hope that this conference will be a unique occasion to generate some new ideas on Hindi heartland. In this conference, there will be 28 Silver Jubilee lectures, 2 special lectures, and about 100 academic papers. While the academic papers are based on Bihar and Jharkhand, the canvas of Silver Jubilee lectures is much wider and meant to expand the competitive world of the participants. Friends, we are extremely honored since this conference is being inaugurated by our Honorable President of India, Shri Pranab Mukherjee ji. As President, he has created new benchmark in the realm of scholarship and public debate. I have been following him long before his ascendancy as a president since the days of Bangla Congress. We all knew about his outstanding political profile, but late Mohit Sen, for the first time, told us about his academic profile and his unmatched brilliance in grasping the most complicated political, economic, and social problems. Rest is history. We are grateful to him for his kind presence. We also welcome Honorable Singh Kovind ji, the Governor of Bihar, for agreeing to grace our third Silver Jubilee Conference as a guest of honor. Within a short period, as our Governor, he has been able to decisively influence the governance in Bihar, particularly in the realm of higher education. We are equally delighted that Honorable Nitish Kumar ji, the Chief Minister of Bihar, has agreed to grace the third Silver Jubilee Conference. Under his leadership, Bihar is on the trajectory of resurgence. In the past, we have always been fortunate to receive his encouragement from him, and his presence today will encourage us further. We are extremely grateful to our Deputy Chief Minister, Prasad Yadav ji, and our Education Minister, Dr. Ashok Choudhary ji, for gracing the inaugural session. Both of them are young, but they have already created unparalleled benchmark in their respective fields. Friends, this conference has been possible because of assistance from 5 organizations: Center for Health Policy, supported by Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, UNFPA, ICSR, CEPPF, and Times of India. I am extremely happy to inform that the State Higher Education Council of both Bihar and Jharkhand has also contributed much for this conference in terms of resources and manpower. We are grateful to all of them. Senior professors from social science, faculties of 10 universities of Bihar and 5 universities of Jharkhand are here to participate in the conference. I welcome them especially in this conference. Friends, this conference has been organized in memory of late Arvind Das. He was an outstanding academic, journalist, filmmaker, and chairman of ADRI during its formative period. He died almost 17 years ago, but his memory still lingers on because he motivated us to think big even while staying in Bihar. This conference is tribute to his intellectual sagacity and unmatched brilliance. On the basis of deliberation of the conference, we propose to bring out a research agenda for social science for the next century, providing an agenda for our social scientists in coming years. We are grateful to Lord Meghnad Desai that he has agreed to bring out these texts in his valedictory address. I sincerely hope that this agenda will enthuse the national organization to establish centers of excellence in our state on not just on social science but on mathematics and statistics as well, because I feel both have linkage like a Siamese twin. I would like to end by quoting Henry Louis Vivian Gerasio, one of the greatest teachers of Hindu College, which is the precursor of present Presidency College in Calcutta. When he was dismissed by Principal H.H. Wilson, he wrote a letter to the principal that he has taught students to question and learn various arguments for and against a position. Then he went on to quote Lord Bacon, who had declared, "If man will begin with certainties, he shall end in doubt." For such process to happen, it is necessary to discuss, debate and argue. To have freedom to express oneself, our greatest ambition is to calibrate ADRI with the highest tradition of such a dialogic society. If we succeed, it will be the greatest achievement for our institute. At the conclusion, I must thank Sri N.K. Singh ji, the patron of ADRI, for presiding over the inaugural session with aplomb and unmatched dexterity. With these words, I welcome you all and look forward to your valuable participation in the coming days. Thank you.
Which is part of the program.
Citation for late Arvind Das. For many social scientists, the people happen to be the object of the research. For others, people are not just object of research, but they are concerned as well. And late Arvind Das was one of them. His academics was therefore not just in time giving, it had a clear purpose to enable people. An alumnus of St. Xavier's High School, Patna, and St. Stephen's College, Delhi, he was initially trained as a historian, but his worldview was so wide that his academic writings have spanned economics, sociology, political science, and all issues of social history and development. One of his earlier research works was a seminal contribution to the agrarian history of Bihar. It was his eagerness to enlighten people that he had later joined the creed of journalism. He had a sharp, analytical mind and was an excellent wordsmith, both of which were reflected in his journalism, and he was able to have a bright mark in that field too. Arvind was a native of Bihar, but spent most of his professional life in Delhi. But unlike many others who, after migrating from their native place to metropolises, are forgetful of their social roots, he always remembered Bihar. Two of his excellent books, The Republic of Bihar and Chaked, The Biography of a Village, clearly underline his deep commitment to Bihar. The Asian Development Research Institute was indeed privileged to have him as its chairperson during when the organization was in its nascent stage. One can recall many of his contributions to ADRI, both at the material as well as the intellectual level. But his principal contribution to the organization was, however, to make it think big and in the realm of ideas. He wanted ADRI to translate big, sometimes even imponderable ideas into reality. His sudden death in 2000 was indeed a huge loss for ADRI, but in the later years, ADRI has always made its best efforts to uphold the ideas he had left for the organization. Arvind was a brilliant mind and a great human being. We all at ADRI feel honored to honor him. This is the text. Thank you.
Your Excellency, the Honorable President of India, the Honorable Governor of India, the Honorable Chief Minister, the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister, the Minister for Education and Human Resource Development, Mr. Shaibal, Gupta, Mr. Ghosh. Let me at the outset say what a privilege it is for me, Honorable President, having worked with you closely, to welcome you to my state and to my hometown. This is a day I have looked forward to and will therefore cherish this memory for long. Not only for the reasons that Mr. Shaibal Gupta has recited, ADRI has been doing extraordinary work in this state, which is not blessed with too many intellectual think tanks, and to foster creativity and to foster innovative thinking to address and to redress the endemic problems of a state like Bihar and quite till recently, Bihar and Jharkhand. One broad statistics, Honorable President. Bihar and Jharkhand represent 11.3% of India's population, 5% of its land area, but alas contributes only 5% to the national GDP. 11.3% population not contributing what would really be its fair proportion to the national GDP is a product of sustained and long endemic neglect. Shaibal, I think by having such a confidence about Bihar and Jharkhand, on the shared common vision of what lies ahead, you are bringing out the commonalities of the path ahead. Before I move on to another subject, let me say that it is necessary for ADRI to be strengthened. It is necessary that Bihar should have a separate institute for social sciences and for mathematics, and whether ADRI does it or some other entity does it, this is an intellectual lacuna which is necessary to be filled. Also, I think ADRI deserves the support of, it has been recognized by the ICSSR for much higher degrees of financial support than has been possible so far, to research on the areas of how 11.3% population's GDP contribution to national development can be enhanced. Honorable President, those of us present here recall with nostalgia the many speeches which you have made addressing the endemic neglect and the economic backwardness of Eastern India. I remember that in successive budget speeches which you made, In your capacity as a finance minister, you never failed to point out that the eastern part of India needed a special attention. Alas, Bihar's efforts to secure a much wider degree of support really did not materialize in the way in which one would have expected. Indeed, Honorable President, fresh in our mind is your address on the 31st of January this year to the joint session of Parliament. In addressing that joint session, you said that my government is committed to ending the sustained economic isolationism of the eastern part of India, and that it will be committed to improving land, air, road, and connectivity for an enhanced improvement in this eastern region. Mr. President, the people of the state certainly hope and expect that you will direct your government to now implement what you have said in your presidential address to the joint session of Parliament. We have no doubt that given your empathy for Bihar's development, and given the degree of conscionable morality which you have demonstrated in fostering a more equal and an inclusive society, that during your term in office, this state and the adjacent seat of Jharkhand would receive the attention which your government is committed to. Thank you very much for this opportunity to say in inviting the Honorable Governor of Bihar, Shri Nath Kovind, to make his observations and remarks.
Honorable President Shri Pranab Mukherjee ji, Honorable Chief Minister Shri Nitish Kumar ji, Deputy Chief Minister Shri Tejashwai Prasad Yadav ji, Education Minister Shri Ashok Choudhary ji, former Member Rajya Sabha Shri N.K. Singh ji, Lord Meghnad Desai ji, Member Secretary ADRI Shri Shaibal Gupta ji, Professor Prabhat Ghosh ji, distinguished guests, eminent educationists and economists from all over India and abroad, ladies and gentlemen. I am happy to participate in this inaugural session of International Conference on Bihar and Jharkhand, Shared History to Shared Vision, organized by ADRI. It is indeed a matter of pride that Honorable President of India, Shri Pranab Mukherjee ji, our chief guest today, and would deliver the inaugural address. This testifies to his deep interest in the academic fraternity as well as in the economic affairs of neighboring states of Bihar. We all know that the challenges of development in the states of Bihar and Jharkhand are indeed enormous. It is the joint responsibility of the central and state governments to meet this challenge squarely. But efforts of government need to be supported by extensive research in both social and economic issues for bringing about desired change. A comprehensive development research agenda for a disadvantaged region should encompass not only local realities but global experience as well. Among the limited number of institutions that have enthusiastically taken up the agenda of development research in Bihar, ADRI stands out both in terms of quality of their research output as well as the broad canvas of their academic pursuits. I take this opportunity to record my appreciation of ADRI academic achievements in the last 25 years and sincerely hope that its members will continue to work sincerely in the coming years to enrich our understanding of development challenges in Bihar and Jharkhand. Since India is essentially a federal country development research has often focused on individual states. This obviously has a rationale since each state has its own history, natural endowments, cultural specificities, and political traditions. But it is probably not very meaningful to exclusively focus on a case study approach too far, ignoring the substantial socio-economic linkages between neighboring states, especially when some of them were a single administrative entity in the past. Commonalities in socio-economic, political, and administrative ethos enable identification of factors that are critical for our understanding. It is in this perspective that one should also undertake an exercise which tries to address simultaneously development challenges in two adjoining states. For Bihar and Jharkhand, such an exercise is even more imperative since they were together for a very long period and have separated only recently. I also learned that the 5-day-long conference has a separate technical session on the relations between Bihar and Nepal, which are connected not just through common river systems, but on other dimensions as well. Many of you present in this gathering would know that the first international conference organized by ADRI was on growth and development, theories and experiences. The second one was on social statics in India, and I had the privilege of being present in its inaugural session thereof. There are a number of renowned scholars, some Indian and others international, who have participated in these 3 conferences. ADRI conferences provide a rare opportunity for the intelligentsia of Patna to listen to these scholars or interact with them. Lastly, I sincerely hope both ADRI and other institutions in Bihar and Jharkhand will promote such academic interactions, helping our own scholars to build intellectual relations with their counterparts either in India or abroad. Thank you all. Jai.
It is now my privilege to invite the Honorable President of India, Shri Pranab Mukherjee, to kindly deliver his inaugural address.
Honorable Governor of Bihar, Shri Kovind, distinguished Chief Minister of the state, Shri Nitish Kumar, Shri Tejashwai Prasad Yadav, Deputy Chief Minister of Bihar, Ashok Choudhary, Minister of Education, Government of Bihar, Shri N.K. Singh, former member of Rajya Sabha, Lord Meghnad Desai, Chairman Academic Advisory Committee, Asian Development Research Institute, Silver Jubilee Celebrations 2016-17, Shaibal Gupta, Member Secretary, Asian Development Research Institute, Professor Prabhat, Ghosh, Director, Asian Development Research Institute, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. At the very outset, I would like to express my deep appreciations to the organizers of this program for inviting me to share some of my perceptions with this very distinguished gathering. I have come to the state on many occasions, and always I had the privilege of being inspired by this land of inspiration. this land of inspiration is not merely because at the stage of the cradle of civilizations, two great prophets, Gautam Buddha and Mahavir, had their teaching and teaching to the mankind how to achieve salvation from the sufferings and miseries. This is the land where mighty emperors, Chandragupta Maurya, Ashoka, have shaped the concept of modern states in very early days, and particularly the transformation of great Emperor Ashoka from a mighty conqueror to a great missionary is described by the eminent historians as the brightest interlude in the troubled history of mankind. It had the privilege of having two seats of learning, many more seats of learning, but two particularly I am referring to, which are not only the academies of excellence, like Nalanda and Vikramshila, but which witnessed the confluence of civilizations, confluence of different culture, Greek, Persian, Chinese, Indian, and long history, not for 1 or 2 centuries, but over centuries. And in this historical background, when it was separated from the Bengal presidency in 1912, and again in 2000, it was split into 2 state units, Bihar and Jharkhand. Despite the separate state entities, the mobility, the commonality, and the integrated approach to socio-economic transformation is the most challenging and daunting job, not only before the administrators and policymakers of the state, but also at the national level. While making my observations, I remember Mr. Tejashwai Yadav, who is the Deputy Chief Minister of the state today. I had an interaction with him when he was almost a young kid. In the 90s, he and his brother, Prasad, went with their father to Delhi, to my office, as the then Chief Minister Laluji was to have interaction with me and finalize the 8th 5-year plan, as I happened to be the Deputy Chairman, Planning Commission. And I remember, perhaps they do not remember, they were too young, that they had to sit in my office with a couple of chocolates so that they can spend their time and we can discuss serious state matters. But apart from the lighter side, on the more important side of the problem, which is not only raised today, but on several occasions in past, and many discourses searching lights and solutions to the problem have been raised and found out how to resolve those problems over the years. Who is the current Chief Minister of the state and who has brought tremendous changes in the state during his administration. In one of his earlier speech, if not maiden, in Lok Sabha he pointed out one very important reason why the Eastern zone suffered economically. Not only because of the colonial exploitation over 190 years, but the policy adopted in independent India through the freight equalization and denying the natural advantage which the Eastern zone had because of freight equalization policy in steel. No doubt it helped other areas to develop steel industry, particularly engineering and small-scale industries. But economically, the Eastern region lost their natural advantage. I am mentioning these references with presiding over this session and the coming days, Mr. Nkesi, with whom I had very close working relationship over decades. Many a times we discuss these issues, try to find out the solutions, despite being the land of huge mineral resources, fertile land in the Gangetic plant, and having hard-working people, farmers, workers, and thinkers. The relative economic progress and development could not take place. And therefore, when I received the invitation from Dr. Shaibal Gupta to share my perception with this important conference of intellectual leaders coming from different parts of the country and also from abroad, I agreed to it. As part of the history, one of the major reasons where the people belonging to the Eastern region lost the initiatives of becoming entrepreneur and failed to take the advantage of industrial revolution in Europe. Perhaps one of the reasons was permanent settlement introduced since 1794 in Bihar. The creation of the landlords and having developed the vested interest considerably affected the ingenuity, capacity to accept the challenge as entrepreneurs and build up the industries, while in other parts where the easy earning and income was not available, entrepreneurship developed, apart from certain policy aberrations which have been discussed. And therefore I do hope in this conference of 4 days, the various participants will contribute their contributions and find out the solutions, how to build up and exploit the full potential which exists in these two states. The enormous gap between the potential and reality of their development in Bihar and Jharkhand, the former having plenty of fertile land and the latter endowed with abundant mineral resources, has attracted the attention of many scholars. Together they have delved into nearly all dimensions of the economy and society in Bihar and Jharkhand. The colonial legacy, development trade in the post-independence era, social dynamics, the long and wide phenomenon of migration, the caste-based political mobilization, the issue of ecology and environment, the question of subnational identity or the demand of the social justice, all of which have contributed to make Bihar and Jharkhand what they are today. At this moment, both Bihar and Jharkhand, as we all know, are at a crossroads, and one wonders which path they would take in the near future to meet the aspirations of their own people. And these aspirations are now much higher than before, thanks to the recent political mobilization in the region, which has brought a new section of the people into power who were all politically marginalized till recently. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, however, we only need to remember one important lesson of history, that is the burden of history, howsoever heavy, can indeed be unloaded with right social mobilization and political initiative. We also need to realize that for seriously disadvantaged regions like Bihar and Jharkhand, a strategy of development requires the policymakers to unleash the productive forces of the economy and not just unquestionably follow a path of industrialization, as was done by countries or regions which had developed earlier. It is here that one requires directed research which can identify appropriate policies that best suit the interests of the region. As an example, from the recent past, one may note that Bangladesh, once a part of Bengal presidency, and which came to exist only in 1971 as a separate entity, how it has made its developmental challenges effectively charting an innovative path of development. This experience of Bangladesh has great lessons for some eastern Indian states like Bihar, Jharkhand, and West Bengal. Ladies and gentlemen, more specifically, one may consider the immense potential of human development or promoting economic development in regions like Bihar and Jharkhand. The international experience shows us that for especially disadvantaged regions, human development could indeed be an alternative development strategy. Under this strategy, it is possible for disadvantaged regions to change their comparative advantage from low-skilled, labor-intensive goods and services to more skill-intensive goods and services providers through the deliberate human development. A logical requirement of this alternative development strategy will be prioritizing investment on education beyond what would happen under normal circumstances. One may also note here that education does not mean economic advantage for the educated persons alone. It has some other important advantages as well. It empowers the people and also promotes their participation in both development programs and political programs. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, in the context of development research, I may also mention here that not all our current development problems lend themselves easy to techno-managerial solutions. In most of the developing nations which attained their independence in the middle of the previous century, particularly at the end of the Second World War and up to the 80s or 90s of the last century, the process of decolonization and end of apartheid policies continued. The institution of state was considered to be very pervading with very limited space for non-state institutions. To my mind, this was some sort of illusion that only the state would be the actor and would be the harbinger of the social changes. Non-state actors did not have that much role to play in the socio-economic transformation of a region. Thanks to the initiative, though very late, in the mid-90s of the United Nations, a conference was held at Denmark, its capital Copenhagen, which is known as the Social Summit. And there it was provided that the state can do many things, but not each and everything. The non-state actors, particularly the civil societies, are to play a very important role and adequate space in the formulation of the states in the economic and political agenda, combining developmental agenda. Adequate space should be left for these non-state actors or the civil society. And there is an institutional gap. This institutional gap is probably found in most parts of India, but this gap is particularly is very wide in the disadvantaged states like Bihar and Jharkhand. In this background, it is indeed an important agenda for the social science research, not just investigate how this institutional gap has emerged over the years, but simultaneously suggest what social interventions that would require to improve this gap. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished participants, in the recent past, both the states have started doing well. Particularly Bihar has shown the way in implementation of many social developmental schemes. The growth performance of Bihar economy has been steady over the past 1 decade, registering an annual growth rate of 10.5%. This is a remarkable achievement. While Bihar still remains a largely agricultural state, Jharkhand is slowly transforming itself into an economy with larger share of the service sector. Governments in both these states have taken a large number of steps to speed up the transformation of the social and economic conditions of the states. I wish the people of this region all the best in their march forward. I am indeed very happy to learn that ADRI, Asian Development Research Institution, is one of those institutions which have been active in social science research during the last 25 years. One of the reasons why the institution has been thriving is the orientation of its research agenda, which is direct relevance to development efforts made by any group of institutions. It has also been a goal of ADRI to disseminate its research results in a more innovative, demystifying and user-worthy form, reducing the gap between the undertakers of research and users of research output. Today, I am told ADRI is providing research support to not just state or central government, but a number of international agencies as well, like the World Bank, UNICEF, DFID, and some others. Let me take this opportunity to congratulate the members of ADRI for their academic achievements. I also hope that they would continue their efforts in coming years and attain new heights in their academic pursuit and simultaneously provide valuable research support in various developmental agencies. This international conference is dedicated to the memory of late Arvind, who was the chairperson of ADRI for 5 years before his premature demise in 2000. Dr. Das was one of those rare social scientists whose writing had crossed disciplinary boundaries. His research work had spanned in the fields of economy, sociology, political science, social history, and all issues that concern development. To enlighten people, he had joined journalism and indeed left a brilliant mark in that field too. 2 of his excellent books, Republic of Bihar and Change, the biography of a village, whose also underlined how deeply rooted he was in Bihar. I joined the members of ADRI to pay tribute to Dr. Arvind, a great scholar and a great soul. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, at the end, I wish Asian Development Research Institute achieves all the glory and success in its journey and becomes an essential resource for development policy research for the region. I wish all of you Godspeed and success in your efforts. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Jai Hind.
May I now invite Lord Meghnad Desai to move the vote of thanks.
Honorable President of India, Honorable Governor of Bihar, Shri Kovind, Honorable Chief Minister of Bihar, Shri Nitish Kumar, Honorable Education Minister, Ashok Choudhary, my friend, Singh, former Rajya Sabha member, Shaibal, Gupta, and distinguished guests. It is my very pleasant duty to move a vote of thanks to Honorable President for coming here, for taking his time out from his very busy schedule to confide in us his thoughts and wishes for Bihar, for India, and for our conference. We are very grateful to you, President, for the kindness you showed us. I also thank all the other members on the dais and the distinguished guests and scholars who are here today. Thank you all very much, and thank you.
Can I invite Professor Subrata Mitra to kindly come to the stage and make a presentation of a book to the Honorable President.
देखो ये ठीक कर रहा है दीपक दीपक सोते दो
May I request everyone to please stand up for the national anthem?